Hello everyone, welcome to another video in the series for creating a note sharing app using Strapi and Nuxt. Well, we'll do a recap first in the previous video of what we did in the previous video, which was showcase the delete capability, the delete feature. So right now, as you can see, I've loaded the front-end UI for the Notes app, which is welcome to the Notes app. I've already loaded my Strapi backend. So if I click here to view notes, I'm sure the notes will load. And they have loaded. So I'm just demo. I'll delete this last one, 7th note. So I'll just click on view note and select delete note. This is, are you sure? Yes. And yes, I've deleted. Successful. So if I go back to all notes, to my notes list, the 7th note shouldn't appear. And as expected, the 7th note is gone. So, right, that was a recap of what we did in the previous video. Now we go to the agenda of the current video. This current video, we are going to, I made a mistake in the previous video. I said the next video, which means this video would be about email. No, before we implement email, we first have to implement auth. So we want the note-taking app for users to log in and log out, to access their own notes, to create their own notes, and to read, to update and delete their notes. So for that, we'll use social login providers, which will provide us with the authentication. So for now, we'll just start off with GitHub. GitHub will be the auth provider that we're going to use. So the steps involved require us to create register an OAuth app in the GitHub developer settings menu. So right now I'll visit the GitHub developer settings menu. So I'll copy. Let me open GitHub developer settings menu and click on new OAuth app. So let's wait for that to load. So for note application name, I'll say notes sharing app, or just notes sharing. Then the URL is going to be http localhost 1337. Then the description for the application, Strapi notes sharing application, and the authorization callback URL http localhost 1337 /API /connect /GitHub /callback. All right, then we will register the application. So registering the application generates a client ID for our GitHub OAuth app. Next, we'll generate a new client secret. This new client secret, as well as the client ID, will be used in configuring the GitHub provider settings in the Strapi admin dashboard. So I'll copy the client ID as well as the client secret so that I can use them later. So I'll say client ID. Next, I'm going to copy the client secret. So we'll say copy And the next thing we'll do is update the application. After updating the application, we will visit this, open the Strapi application at localhost 1337. Then under settings, we'll click settings, go to the settings menu and click on providers. Under the user and permissions plugin, look for the GitHub provider, which is disabled. Next thing we'll do, we'll add in the client ID as provided by GitHub. Next we'll copy the client ID and paste it in. And the client secret, we'll copy it as well and paste it in. Then we'll add the redirect URL, which is simply localhost 3000/connect/github. For now, it won't work since we haven't yet configured Nuxt, but it's enough for us to get the secret code to test if everything is working. So we'll enable this, turn it to true, then save the settings for the provider. After configuring the GitHub settings, we will revoke the public user permission settings. Now we'll go back to the settings menu and click on roles. We want to access the public user permission roles. We want to remove all the public user permissions for the notes collection, as now we're adding authentication to our app. And then click on save. Wait for that, and it has been edited. Now we go back and configure the user permissions for the authenticated user. We want the authenticated user to be able to find, create, and use and update the notes. So select all and click on save for the authenticated user. So now the authenticated user has all the permissions for the notes collection. Now the next step is to test to see if this GitHub provider setup works. For that, we'll first visit localhost 1337/API/connect git/github in the browser. So I'm going to visit that URL. I'll copy the URL and paste it in my browser and visit it. Next, we'll have to authorize this app. So you have to give access to the app using your GitHub account. So using my GitHub account, I'll give access to this application. So I'll authorize this app. Right. It will give us site can't be reached because nothing is running on port 3000. However, it will give us an authentication token or an access token, and this access token is what we will use to gain access and test to see if it's working. So like we said, nothing will display as the page does not exist. However, we can copy the code given by GitHub. So I'm going to paste in the code I've been given by GitHub, and the code I've been given is there right after the access token parameter. So we'll copy it. Next thing we'll do is visit the callback URL that Strapi provides, which is localhost 1337/API/auth/GitHub/callback. This is specifically for the GitHub provider. Now we'll copy the URL and paste it in. And there we have it. It is registered the user, which is me, and my email, and confirmed true. So if we check in the Strapi dashboard, we go to the content manager and click on user, we'll see that the user has been registered. So we now have an unauthenticated user. So we'll copy the JWT token as well. Just wait a second as I copy, right click, copy, and I will paste in the token. Alright. I will paste in the JSON response containing the JWT token, as well as the document ID and the email and username for a registered user. The next thing we'll do is to test if this token that we have been given is able to access the notes collection. Remember, we changed the permissions for the notes collection. Now only authenticated users are able to access the notes collection. So we want to confirm that this works. So for that to work, we need to first add the authentication token. So we'll create a file called secret in the root of our working directory. This will store our secrets. Next thing we'll do is add the JWT token as part of the secret file. So I'm gonna copy the JWT token that we got from the response, copy it and paste it in, and there we have it. We've pasted in the JWT token. Now we can close that file. The next thing we'll do is export this as part of our environment variables, as part of the operating system's environment variables. So we'll use this command, export. This command reads the contents of the secret file and exports the contents to the environment variables. Right, next we'll test the token using the following command. We'll just perform a curl get request to list all the nodes. We are supposed to get all the nodes. So we'll copy this command and then we'll say test7.json. So we'll store the result in a file called test7.json, and there we have it. Next we'll click here, and as expected we got all the nodes because we used the token. Now we want to test if a public user can access the list of nodes as well. So what we'll do is perform a find request as a public user, so we won't add a token. So we'll just perform a call get localhost 1337/API/nodes, and as you can see we get a 403 forbidden error, which means that no public user can access the nodes anymore. So thank you for watching. In the next video we'll look at how we can update the other methods for the notes collection for the authenticated user. Thank you for watching.